development can happen. And when without developing self, if I do sustainable development, I take care of the society, of the environment, the self also gets developed. We will discuss this in detail. उससे पहले एक फॉर्मेलिटी करते हैं, इनॉग्रेट कर लेते हैं.
शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
said the candle could not light, but it is the illumination of wisdom that matters, and with that we'll move forward. So I was thanking our sponsors for today. It was because of them that today was possible and we all are present here. Apart from our TERI Management Association, which is an expert in providing education and impactful awareness programs across India in terms of sustainability, we also would like to thank VYK, an NGO which has been tirelessly working since 1961, training youth in programs of agriculture, entrepreneurship and sustainability. Vijayash Foundation is a leading and learning development organization dedicated to India's growth. It is due to all of these partners that we are present here, and we hope that our roundtable conference will be a success today. Now, I would like to invite our inaugural speaker, but before I do so, I would like to light on what today is going to be about for all of us present here. Today we are gathered here to discuss an extremely important vision, self and sustainable development for a Viksit Bharat at 2047. As you all know, we complete 100 years of India's independence in 2047. To achieve the ultimate goal of a developed India or Viksit Bharat, we are adopting the path of sustainability. Today, sustainability is not just an option. It is in fact the only choice that we have for our future generation, our country and our planet. As we continue on this journey of sustainability, we must commence with self-awareness and action. At the heart of this concept lies the understanding that sustainable development is achieved by empowered individuals who are enlightened and ethically grounded. Today, in this collaborative environment, we aim to inspire and bring about strategies, insights and solutions that we can adopt for a developed India. That has to align with the global sustainable development goals as well. We look forward for a fruitful discussion among all speakers today that will deepen our understanding of how personal and professional growth can drive sustainability and ESG initiatives in times to come. Now, speaking of our inaugural speaker, she is Dr. Shruti Sharma Rana, our professor at TERI School of Advanced Studies in Business and Sustainability Management. She is a researcher, consultant, and an extremely talented pedagogy expert present here. She has worked tirelessly in promoting sustainable development across our institution. Today, we stand and I call upon her to speak and inaugurate this ceremony. Thank you.
Good afternoon, all of you. It's a matter of immense pride and honor to host this conference, this roundtable discussion on self and sustainable development here at TERI School of Advanced Studies. I would like to start by what Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. So when we talk about change, when we talk about sustainable development, which the Brundtland Commission gave a definition that taking care of your current needs without compromising the need of future generation, that is what sustainable development is. And self has a very critical role to play. And when I talk about self, individual identity, our consciousness is the driving force behind sustainable development. When I talk about the values which we have, the beliefs which we have, now these are the critical factors which integrate sustainable practices or sustainable behavior in individuals. Here during this roundtable conference, we will be talking on this and much more, on the behavior aspect of sustainable development. But when coming back to attitude and values, when we look at sustainability, and when we look at India, so this has been our way of life. We Indians have a legacy of sustainability. When I look at our ancient mythology, and there is in Atharva Veda, it's being said that Mata, Mata Bhumi, Putraham Prithviya, which means Earth is our mother, and we are all the children of Mother Earth. And this was quoted in Atharva Veda in Prithvi Sutra. And that's where, when we look at our civilization, our Indian civilization, we've been very environmentally conscious civilization. It can be reflected in our, the way we've been our day. If we look at the god and goddesses which we have, the deities, animal, river, all of this is what we've been, are sacred to us. These are all, we worship all of this, and this has been a part of our Indian culture. When you look at, we worship people tree. Now, when we look at why do we worship people tree? Because that's a tree which, which gives more oxygen. So that is where, just to protect the people tree, we had our culture, we had rituals where we worship people trees so that we can protect it. Again, something which is, which takes care of the environment. It is mentioned in our mythology, Paryavaran Nashin Nashanti Sarvajantava, as if you don't align with the nature, you will not be able to thrive. And that's what happened. 10,000 years, we as civilization thrived because we were aligned to Mother Earth. All our practices, whatever we do, was aligned to nature. It's only in the last 60 to 70 years, post World War II, the industrial civilization, when we started using those resources, mindlessly, which led to the crisis which we are in. So we are going to talk about that. So when we look at from the sustainability aspect, it's been a part of our legacy. We have celebrated here. All our national leaders have spoken about it. Let me talk about our national song, which is Vande Mataram, which says Sujalam Sufalam Malyad Shitlam. So when I talk about Sujalam, that's, when Sujalam is nothing but it's the pure water. Sujalam Sufalam, fertile land. Malyada Shitala, pure air to breathe. So we've been celebrating, we've been worshipping the resourcefulness. If you look at Mahatma Gandhi, our father of the nation, he had a zero waste life. So when we talk about here in this roundtable discussion, we will be talking about self and how this, focusing on self drives the sustainable development goals or drives sustainability. Mahatma Gandhi is a live example of it. So when I talk about the zero waste life, he used to practice certain things, like he used to walk 18 kilometers every day. His ashrams were based on the wastelands. He always, when he used to write letters or make notes, he used to use the scraps, to write notes, and he used to use reused envelopes to write letters. So we know what all he's practiced. This where climate change was not even a concern. So this has been a way of life, this has been a part of legacy, and this is where our conscious living has been there. Now when you look at the current situation or current scenario today, where we see that there is a crisis, and when we talk about the crisis, there are three crises which have been highlighted. Not crisis, challenges which have been highlighted to address climate change. I'm sure all of us are advocates in this domain, and all of us would agree with me. The first is technological challenge, the second is financial, and the third, which everybody says is most important, is behavior challenge. So when we look at behavioral challenge, we as individuals have a bigger responsibility to direct our behavior more towards sustainability, align ourselves towards sustainability. And when we say sustainability, it's a philosophy, it's a way of life, which our generation, our previous generations have been practicing it. It's a part of what we've grown up as. When you talk about resource efficiency, the way our parents have, the way we've grown up, even the family, resource efficiency was practiced. I think all of us know and still do that, electricity, we don't waste electricity, water, waste, everything is being taken care of. We do worship, where we talk about the plants, the animals, everything has been a part of our Indian culture, and we just need to look this way. When you look at corporates, everybody wants to practice sustainability. That intent is clearly there. But where is the deficit? There is an intent to action deficit. And this intent to action deficit is purely because there is, a behavioral change which is required. And this behavioral change would not be possible unless and until all of us look the sustainability way. And it was said that a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one single step. And I think self can be the first step. Changing ourselves or aligning ourselves, changing the behavior towards sustainability can be the first step which we can take towards sustainable development. And thank you. I welcome you all here, and I hope for a more fruitful and insightful deliberation during our roundtable discussion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for shedding light on how sustainability is not just part of our forefathers' dream, like Gandhiji had said. It is also our culture, and we have to take it forward by starting with ourselves. And I hope today's discussion is the step in that direction. Now, I would like to call upon stage Mr. Sanjay Gupta for sharing his insights on this specific topic. Please, sir.
So, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I'm really privileged that I have been given an opportunity of speaking about this passionate topic. I'll say passionate because I think in the opening someone said that this is not an option. I absolutely agree because sustainability is not an option anymore. I think this is necessity and this is a basic necessity. This is the question of survival of human beings, and not only human beings but life in all forms on this earth. When I speak on this topic, some things I always repeat. I always say that this environment, we inherited in a sound state. So isn't it your duty to give it to our next generations, at least in this state of the better state? And don't life on this earth has been there for I think millions of years. And when I talk of only humans, I think humans in any form have been existing for at least 1 lakh years on this earth. So, and we as human beings on this earth, we are thinking only about our generation. I mean, is it fair that we forget that people have to live with this earth for a long time to come? I mean, we cannot use all the resources and leave the earth barren with everything. So basically, I think this is our duty, and this is a great duty about the environment. And this topic I think very relevant today. Self-awareness leads to sustainable development. Because a change will start with one individual. We sometimes feel that how can I make a difference only? But this is not the question when individuals, this leads to change in our neighborhood, in our family, in the society, in the country and throughout the world actually. I think I remember, I read somewhere that Prime Minister Modi in I think one summit in 21, he started the movement Life for Environment. Basically this is life. I think this very well talks about that. He said that if 1 billion people of this earth in India and throughout the world, if they adopt the sustainable habits, that can lead to 20% reduction of any kind of pollution or environment reduction of this particular. Only 1 billion, that is only 12% of the world population. Just think about that if we adopt this practice and this becomes a mass movement, how much change we can bring about. Secondly, before that, when I think of Deepak, because Deepak I just greatly admire actually. I joined this committee about 1 year, 3 months back, and I'm even company secretary, chief compliance officer in Indigo. I hear this kind of deliberations in the boardroom, but actually this was not part of my daily duty in fact. But when I joined him just 1 year, 53 months back, this brought a change in myself. I feel that the way I used to think earlier and the way I feel now, this is a drastic difference. Earlier, I knew about environment, I knew about sustainability, but I never thought that how much responsible we are or how much committed I feel about this cause. This has become passion. Every day, even in my family, in my home, when I talk, my wife, my son, they used to wonder, Papa, what are you talking every day? Switch band kar do, light band kar do, AC band kar do, all these things. I say this is not about saving of money. This is about, this is our utmost duty. Because we can have unlimited money. We can have money to spend. And, I am very sure that the kind of money we have earned, we are not worried about that. But the resources are limited. We are too worried about that. Because somewhere we are living in our home in so much of heat. We are putting 3-4 ACs on actually. And we are not thinking of the people because who are bearing this, scorching heat. They don't have even the fence. Just think about that. Question is very simple. Because everyone on this earth has a right to live and right to live in a sustainable manner. And this is the duty of every one of us to work towards that cause. We cannot use up all these resources. Resources are limited on the earth, and the way we have been using these resources, I think they are not going to last for maybe even for 100 years. Think about carbon emissions. in every COP summit which is happening throughout the world leaders come gather together, they talk about different things, very high targets. But just tell me honestly if you read about that. Are the world leaders or the international committee is really serious about that? Because whatever target they set, at the end of the day, nothing is met. The developed countries like America and so many other countries, they have a duty also. They commit something that this much amount or this much efforts they are dedicated towards the environment actually. But actually this is not met. What does it mean? It means the people or the countries who are well off, who think they are developed, they don't feel they have a duty also. And the people living in the underdeveloped countries or developing countries like Africa or Asia, they are the people who are suffering most from that. And we talk about India. India has been such a country. When we read about India, our past generations, even I am not going far. I am remembering my childhood, and I remember at that time the people were living a sustainable life. Today, when we talk about that, people laugh at that. Many people actually, and the people who laugh at that are mostly those people who are having enough money. They think they don't have any such duty. And when we think about the minimalistic lifestyle, people confuse it with about saving of money. I can say with conviction that minimalistic lifestyle is not about saving of money. It is using only that much sources which we really need. Like for example, I think some people would have heard about fast fashion. We just, when we see our wardrobes, they are full of clothes and so many things. And many of these things we have not for years. So question is that, do we need all these things? Or we are just having it just to make sure that whenever we open our wardrobe, we can have a choice to make and what we want to wear, we'll wear that. And once we stop using that, we'll throw it away. Whatever clothes or anything we throw is going to landfills, and this adds to carbon emission. Ultimately, this is causing a burden on the environment actually. So thing is that resources any form in this earth are limited. This is your duty to use the resources in a manner which is sustainable actually. Second thing, when we have talked about individuals comes to there are many categories to individuals actually. This can be youth, this can be women, this can be homemakers, this can be many NGOs in fact. Because each segment in the society has a duty toward the environment. Like I say about youth. Prime Minister of India, I remember he said that India is a very privileged country, though we have the problem of population. But 65% of the population in India consists of people who are up to 35 years of age. That means if we talk of productive population, we have the largest percentage. And this productive population can lead to a big change in fact. Because the youth are the people who are literate, who are aware, and through education for responsibility, they can spread this cause about sustainability in fact. And they are better means to social, about the social media, about the technology, about so many things. And that use is also necessary. We need to know which are the kinds of uses, which energy we have to use, which are sustainable in fact. Everything can bring about a change. So, I just say this only. This is a very passionate topic. I think if you can see my emotion when I speak about, you can very well read that how much passionate I feel about that. I say that this kind of passion is required in every individual actually. Because if this passion is always on, and we always think about that, the change is not very far. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you. Shruti and Sanjay has made good introduction. So friends, it is an honor to host such a distinguished gathering of leaders and experts from the industry, from academia, and I appreciate your wisdom and humbleness to join this conference, this roundtable conference, and we hope to have some good brainstorming and discussions. I would like to run one PPT over there. So आपको ये थोड़ा सा कैसे करोगे कैमरे को एडजस्ट करना पड़ेगा. We hope to have some enlightening discussions in the session because we are having good leaders from the industry. You are all very good leaders, and who will speak first, and then we will all speak in the first round, maybe not more than 10 minutes, so that we can have a second round also, and 5 to 10 minutes first round, then second round, and then we will see if the time left everyone can put their suggestions, their inputs. आप लोग भी सब अपने suggestions दे सकते हैं. दीपक जी हैं यहाँ पे. अगर कोई all should get some time to speak. So let us be brief, concise, to the point. So friends, the topic is self and sustainable development. Self, self is a combination of our personality. Our personality is a combination of our thoughts, our emotions, our values, our perception, our respect, what respect we have for others, reverence, mindfulness, and all. These are our qualities, and our self is built up of these emotions and qualities. Next, please. And self-awareness, if we know about ourselves, our personal journey, many times, और जैसे अभी संजय ने बताया कि we started in ESG committee 15 months ago, and then in this process we are all learning and developing. Before 15 months हम लोग इतना ध्यान नहीं रखते थे. Supriya also knows, she also developed herself as a sustainability leader during that period. Sometimes personal change results into sustainable development for the society, for the nation, for the whole. If we can develop ourselves more, we can contribute to the society. There are many instances in the India and the world where self-exploration, personal journey led to the society uplift. Yesterday also I was delivering one session in one forum. Dr. Supriya was also there. We were quoting that girl, teenager from Sweden, Greta Thunberg. Yes. So when I was reading about her, इसमें आवाज आ रही है?
Yes, we are able to hear.
When I was reading about her, so in the childhood she was facing autism, so she was not able to speak properly. Whatever consequences of an autism behavior, her cognitive ability was not working, and then suddenly at the age of 10 years, she started developing interest in the environment, and she devoted herself to the environment, reading, spreading her wherever she can doing protest at the school level, college level, wherever. And in this process, she developed herself, and now she is making presentation before the United Nations. So, it becomes very, very difficult when you are facing one problem, autism, and you are delivering a presentation before the United Nations. So I believe somewhere, when she अपना उस autism को भूल कर, and she was devoting her time towards environment and all, and she developed herself, and she's making news. She really she got various awards. In fact, Donald Trump, he was speaking against her that मेरे को तो इनाम नहीं मिला, इसको इनाम, she is getting the awards. And he said that she needs to work upon her anger. So sometimes she did speak in anger about what politicians are doing. So it do happens that our economic interest, our political interest, may हम कई बार we forget the sustainable development, sustainability many times. And we will discuss this third way, because Dr. Shruti ने बात करी behavioral change. So behavioral change is very important. When I was coming with Mr. Johari के साथ हम लोग we are coming from DMA, तो जौहरी साहब भी बात कर रहे थे behavioral change की. So behavioral change is very, very much important. And I believe when we develop ourselves, after some time, we develop a feeling to take care of others. We develop a feeling to take care of the society, of the environment. So this is automatic, this is autonomous. जब हम अपने आप को डेवलप करते हैं, अपने हायर सेल्फ को डेवलप करते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ ही गांधी जी की हम सब बातें करते ही हैं, तो व्हेन आई वाज रीडिंग अबाउट हिम, तो ही वाज ए जर्नी, ही वाज ए वेरी गुड रीडर. मतलब उनकी पेरेंट्स उनको महाभारत, रामायण वगैरह सुनाया करते थे, वहीं से उन्होंने काफ़ी कुछ सीखा. एंड धीरे धीरे ही स्टार्टेड रीडिंग मोर एंड मोर बुक्स. एंड द मेन थिंग, मैं सबसे ज़्यादा इनकी इसलिए तारीफ करता हूँ कि ही नेवर लिमिटेड हिमसेल्फ टू एनी वन स्क्रिप्चर. ही रेड गीता, एंड देन कुरान, बाइबल, and all the good scriptures, even he read about Russian scriptures also. And he later on he wrote Gita in Gujarati also. Once in my society, there is a high-rise society in the park garden, we used to do yoga and all. Once on International Yoga Day, I invited one president of the society कि आप आना, and Gandhi जी का 2 अक्टूबर था. So he came, but 2 अक्टूबर का day था, one should speak about Gandhi जी. So he said, यार I don't like Gandhi जी. मैं कहीं उनको समझ नहीं आया, मैं ज़्यादा उनके बारे में बोलूँगा नहीं. तो मैंने उनको पूछा आपने गीता पढ़ी हुई है? तो गीता के वो बहुत बड़े प्रशंसक थे. काफ़ी इंडियंस हैं. मैंने उनको पूछा कि डू यू नो दैट गांधी रोट गीता आल्सो? सो ही वाज शॉक्ड कि ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है कि गांधी जी ने गीता पढ़ी, गीता लिखी. तो मैनी टाइम्स वी लिसन एंड वी स्टार्ट रिपीटिंग कि गांधी जी के बारे में, इसके बारे में, इसके बारे में. बट आई एज पर माई अंडरस्टैंडिंग about Gandhi ji and about Gita, Gandhiji was the only person in this world who read Gita and he lived according to Gita. Many persons we read Gita but we may or may not live according to Gita 100%, to the extent of 100%. But he was the person, as per my understanding, मेरे को जितनी समझ है. So it happens here. Next slide please. So developing self, if we decide that we need to develop ourselves, for example, if I talk about myself, 20 years ago, I used to be a shy person. So what to talk about in a gathering of so many people, I was not able to speak to, few people. But something happens and we decided to develop ourselves. And so I believe that we can develop ourselves. Yoga, meditation, and all these self-help reading, scriptures, it really helps us developing ourselves. It is true, and it really helped me a lot. Many psychologists said that nature को change करना बहुत मुश्किल है, इंट्रोवर्ट ही रहता है, but मेरे को लगता है मैंने उसको change कर लिया है. Yes, next please. So these are the global sustainability challenges. We all know this. We will not be discussing this much today. We all know these are challenges: climate change, global warming. हम लोग face कर रहे हैं. अभी last 30 days we are facing. Each day is a more heater than the previous day. And 2023 was the hottest, and 2024 is going to break all records. Then we have problem: poverty, inequality, human rights. We will have technology and biotech disruptions in a huge manner in the future to come. We all know this. We are all leaders. The next the India and the world will be changing in each 3 years because of technology and biotech disruptions. And we will be continually having fears of new pandemics. And then governance to this transit from a carbon economy to net zero economy. It will not be an easy task. It will be very difficult. Tanya is into carbon only. She will be able to tell us more. This transition needs governance. Not only local governance, and international organizations needs to revamp themselves. And they are in the process of revamping them. For example, if we talk about World Bank, climate finance is the most important topic for transition. And World Bank, United Nations, they all need to be proactive. And then these conflicts going on for the last more than 1 year. And I read somewhere in the Russian-Ukraine war, around $1,000 billion have been spent so far. And $1,000 billion is a huge money. I believe, ज़्यादा तो मेरे को नहीं कह सकता इस बारे में, पर जो global south की poverty है शायद उससे दूर हो जाए, नहीं? We all have global south miserable life जीते हैं वहाँ पर लोग बात. This geopolitical conflicts happens because of our ego problems, nothing else. ये ego ही तो क्या है? This is nothing but ego, I believe. Yeah, next slide please. So then a few lines about leadership and sustainability. I believe that leadership needs to revamp themselves. We need to change ourselves. अब हो गई पॉलिटिक्स वगैरह, इलेक्शंस हो गया, प्राइम मिनिस्टर सब बन गए, नाउ लेट अस वर्क. There is no point criticizing each and other. Let us अपने अंदर के सेल्फ को हम जगाएं, हायर सेल्फ को जगाएं. Let us move on because on us poverty, poor people depends on us. 50% of the people in the India and the world, they all maybe मैंने 50% ज़्यादा बोल दिया हो. They all depends on us only, on leaders only. All right, 50% शायद ज़्यादा होगा, but at least 40% people depend on the leaders in India and the world over. Yeah, next please. So few lines about the leadership that we need to remember ourselves, we need to change ourselves. Leadership, humanity, responsibility need to ensure that our actions are good for us and for others, for future generations. Next please. So leadership is not a static concept. It is an evolving and responsive approach to the agile world. So it is an evolving concept. I believe that if I decide today that I need to do something as a leader, and then my decision can lead to a change in myself, and in the change in society, in the change in the world. And in fact, if you see the world history, you will find the most important people की आप list बनाएं, you will find around 50 most important people in the world so far, or maybe 25 to 100. And अगर जो उन लोगों को हम निकाल दें वहाँ से, even 25 people को भी हम उन top leaders को निकाल दें, तो वर्ल्ड की शक्ल कुछ और होती, जो आज है वो नहीं होती. So it all depends on the leaders, that world की आज क्या position है. It all depends on leaders, and I believe that if we decide, we all in this room and otherwise everywhere, anyone can develop himself or herself, because हम सबके अंदर ये है, हमको ये निकालना है बाहर. हम सबके अंदर एक विल पावर है, एक हायर सेल्फ है, एक हायर कॉन्शियसनेस है, एक ब्रह्मन है, एक गॉड है. उसको हम सबको निकालना है. When गौतम बुद्धा से किसी ने पूछा after his enlightenment, are you God? He said, no, I am not God. Just my consciousness has awakened. मेरी चेतना जाग गई है, मेरे को समझ आ गई है कि सब क्या है, दुनिया क्या है. तो just consciousness को ही हम लोग को अवेक करना है. Then I believe Buddha was able to awake himself, Gandhi was able to awake himself, and other leaders like him, Vivekanand and all, they were able to awake themselves, their higher self, and they changed the world. They changed the world. अब क्रिटिसाइज करने को तो हम चाहें तो क्रिटिसाइज करते ही रहेंगे. मेन टाइम्स मैंने देखा है कि कई बार हम लोग जब बचपन से कुछ चीज़ सुनते आ रहे हैं तो क्रिटिसाइज करना शुरू करते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल व्हेन वी वर यंग, we were not read about Buddha, Gandhi and all. So we used to say that when Gandhi said that I read 20 years ago, I read one statement of Gandhi that renounce and enjoy. So 20 years ago, reading renounce and enjoy, I said, what does it mean here? How one can enjoy after renouncing? but I don't know. I mean, how you will take this line of me, because I lived a journey. It is true. It is true. When we are able to control our habits, bad habits, our some behaviors, and after controlling that, then when we are behaving in a good manner, then we realized, and then we enjoy it in a 100% more manner than the earlier. This is true, my dear friends. This is true. This is true. This change. This change can develop you, and you will have a wonderful feeling. हम जब बचपन में सुनते थे आनंद, क्या बोलते हैं उसको, कुछ संस्कृत में बोलते हैं सत्यचित आनंद. It really है. This is a concept है. Yes, next slide please. So I want to concentrate over here. I mean, I would like to have your inputs and thoughts. How we can involve youth, because youth ही है जिसको आगे रहना है. And अगर हम उनको अभी in the ESG committee in the last 15 months we did at least in more than 25 colleges we did youth awareness session. Dr. Supriya is here, Sanjay ji is here. Our ESG committee we did various sessions for the youth. तो youth को अगर हम involve करें, it can really help. And whether Dr. Kishan Kumar Sharma ji यहाँ पर है, he can advise us that whether organizations and educational institutions can have a tie-up that because कहीं ना कहीं इसमें resources तो चाहिए, and then we can develop the youth, we can guide them and if anyone from here from academia, Dr. Poonam is here. So do we have हम लोगों ने अपना आप लोग तो sustainability में है वो तो एक अलग बात है, पर जो other colleges हैं normal do we have हम लोगों ने अपने syllabus में sustainability वगैरह को include किया है, climate awareness में हम लोग क्या youth को अभी से aware करें, I don't know. So we need your thoughts, and in the end we will draw some conclusion, and then we may write a white paper for circulation and for sending to the concerned authorities. Next slide, please. So homemakers. Now, I live in a high-rise society. In my area, में कम से कम 100 societies हैं. तो I tried my best. in the 2 साल पहले मैं उसकी मैनेजमेंट कमेटी में घुस गया अपना सोसाइटी की कि let us do something. तो बहुत बोलता हूँ वहाँ पर, कुछ भी करता हूँ, but they don't listen to me. I mean waste segregation पे गवर्नमेंट ने एक बार वो नियम लागू कर दिया. तो उन्होंने आनंद फानंद में 1 महीने में उसको कंपनी को अपॉइंट किया and they were starting doing waste segregation. पर 3 महीने बाद my mate said कि ये सारा इन्होंने पहले किया था, ये सब भूल गए, कोई कुछ नहीं करना. They are not doing waste segregation. So in the societies and all, we are totally unaware about sustainability. So can we involve them? Can we do something for them? Because youth, homemakers, कितनी population होगी? And then next slide please. Senior citizens. This population is 50%, I believe. And
women are nearly 50%.
Pardon?
Women are nearly 50%.
Yeah, but I am adding senior citizens also. In my society, I mean the person when we retired, they say.
So 65% population is below 35. So I believe not 50%. Maybe 30, 25%, 20%, 20-25%.
Okay, so point is, this is a huge population.
Yeah.
First youth, then homemakers, then senior citizens. Senior citizens at the age of 60, if they say, particularly if they retire from government department and such type of companies, then कि दीपक यार समझ में नहीं आता क्या करें. मैंने कहा कुछ सोशल काम कीजिए, रीडिंग करें, एनजीओ में जाएं. तो कुछ दिन तक करते हैं वो, फिर अपना मेरे से एक सज्जन ने काफ़ी कुछ डिस्कशन किया, बहुत अच्छे से उनको मैंने समझाया. तो 3 महीने निकल गए उनके. 3 महीने बाद तक उन्होंने मतलब कुछ तो किया, फिर धीरे धीरे हट गया सब कुछ. और 3 महीने के बाद डेली उनकी तरफ से एक व्हाट्सएप मैसेज आना शुरू हो गया. तो दैट मीन्स कि उनको काम मिल गया क्या काम करना है, कि डेली एक व्हाट्सएप मैसेज भेजना है. एंड ही सेड दीपक जी मैं रोज 1000 व्हाट्सएप मैसेज भेजता हूँ. So whether we can involve them in productive work and this sustainability से climate awareness से अच्छा काम क्या हो सकता है. देखिए उसके लिए आप सबका साथ चाहिए. You are all resourceful people. सब लोगों के कुछ ना कुछ कमेंट्स होंगे, कुछ ना कुछ आप लोग एडवाइस करेंगे. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज. And then awareness in less privileged society. NGOs role, a few years ago before COVID, I worked in some NGOs and all. तो ज़्यादातर NGOs में बच्चों के लिए education, health and all, livelihood, we do care. I don't know in the NGOs now, how do we developing the less privileged children towards climate awareness, I don't know. We have from विश्व केंद्र से आप हैं क्या, मतलब NGOs में आप आजकल कैसा रहता है, अपने टर्न पे आप ये बता सकते हैं जो आपके टर्न आएगी कि NGOs क्या अपना लेस प्रिविलेज्ड सोसाइटीज़ को हम क्लाइमेट अवेयरनेस करा रहे हैं.
Sure, so right. We are doing programs on wash. We are doing programs on water sanitation and.
नहीं आप कर रहे हैं तो सारी NGOs whatever they are doing.
Yeah, we do programs in our state level program because we are doing programs in our around 25 states. तो 25 states में विश्व केंद्र के जो उदय शंकर सिंह जी हैं, he is country representative of FENSA network. That is Fresh Water Action Network.
No, I'm talking that all the NGOs in the India, they are dealing with the children and the less privileged society, whether they are promoting climate awareness also.
Right, because we are doing health and hygiene practices in our slums. We have adopted 10 slums nearby Chanakya, और हम वहाँ पे उनको वॉश अवेयरनेस, क्लाइमेट अवेयरनेस, वहाँ के जो स्कूल्स हैं उसमें जाके हम वो हेल्थ एंड हाइजीन प्रैक्टिसेस और क्लाइमेट के ऊपर सेल्फ अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम्स करते हैं.
Even we have organized 4-month certificate course on climate literacy with 500 students all over the India.
Yes, my point is because NGO caters to the less privileged society and they are also a huge number.
I don't think so, sir. Not all NGOs are doing this.
यही
I don't think so.
विश्व केंद्र and the NGOs associated with
Mukta, I mean you are doing, but I wanted to know whether all the NGOs are doing.
Not all the NGOs associated with VYK, sir.
So they have their mission vision.
Yeah.
Some of the NGO are working on that.
No, here there are two things. One is creating awareness. One is also making those facilities also available for them. Like
No,
you are,
not the
so that is
facilities,
also
sir. We
very
are creating
important.
awareness.
Telling someone
Yeah.
that this is to be done, not providing say sanitary,
Resources.
all those resources, whatever
Yeah.
is required.
Yeah.
These two aspects are to be looked together. Then only the things will get be implemented on the
Right,
ground.
right, sir.
So
That's very, very important.
if sir allow us, I can say something about organization. You know the process very well.
हाँ एक सेकंड थोड़ा सा अभी मैं
No, but I can relate with the sustainability. That's
no
why
no
I'm
my point was जैसे आपने बोला कि in India all the NGOs are taking care of climate awareness because underprivileged society से वही डील कर रहे हैं हम तो डील नहीं कर रहे हैं directly. So my point was that we need to discuss and write in our white paper to have a wider circulation. समझ रहे हैं आप कर रहे हैं विश यू कैन तो वी ऑल नो दैट यू आर डूइंग वेल सो एनी हाउ सो वी हैव
दीपक जी, माय पॉइंट इज अगर ये हो रहा होता ना हम सब यहाँ नहीं होते थे.
तो ये इसीलिए वी आर हियर टू डिस्कस एंड
That is what is my point.
राइट इन द एंड मेरे ख्याल से आप भी
Because it
मैडम
is
भी इसमें
something,
हमको
lack
गाइड
of
करेंगी
awareness is something which is
एवरीवन
very
we will have inputs from all let us by turn ये एक स्लाइड हो रहा है बस सो अदर चैलेंजेस में इससे पहले स्लाइड पे जाना तो जो वर्किंग क्लास है देन फ्यू चैलेंजेस हैं सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट में कि जो लाइफ के प्रेशर्स है इकोनॉमिक इंटरेस्ट है मनी वी आर ऑल लिविंग अवर पर्सनल एंड प्रोफेशनल लाइफ वी आर ऑल बिजी सब बिजी हैं तो सस्टेनेबिलिटी इज नॉट ए प्रायोरिटी क्लाइमेट चेंज इज नॉट ए प्रायोरिटी अनलेस अनटिल यू आर इन सस्टेनेबिलिटी आप सस्टेनेबिलिटी में है तो वो आपका जॉब है बट इफ इट इज नॉट योर जॉब इफ यू आर ए इनकम टैक्स प्रैक्टिशनर कंपनी लॉ का प्रैक्टिशनर्स हैं आप सीए हैं कंपनी सेक्रेटरीज हैं लॉयर्स हैं तो मिस्टर पांडे कैन टेल अस कि whether this is a priority for them and then political vested interest and others and like no if we do not have any interest in life तो मेरे को लगता है कि सस्टेनेबिलिटी तो क्या उसको अपनी लाइफ में इंटरेस्ट नहीं है तो वो क्लाइमेट के बात करेगा तो दीज आर सब फ्यू चैलेंजेस लास्ट स्लाइड एक स्लाइड और होगी इसमें सो माय पॉइंट वाज कि अगर जब हम सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट में अपने आप को इन्वॉल्व करते हैं तो धीरे धीरे मेरे अंदर इंप्रूवमेंट आती है एंड इट इज वाइस वर्सा नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज ethical growth and integrity legacy and impact next slide please continue because I want to listen others personal growth improved well-being yes next slide please so the last is self and sustainable development is the key to a developed India and a better world my dear friends ये हम लोगों को calibrate करना है and then जो awareness को हम कैसे फैला सकते हैं youth homemakers senior citizens then we discuss NGO and self and sustainable development and but I will repeat that please